He dedicates
Great YouTube.
He dedicates 8 hours a day role-playing as a toddler.
I'm in baby mode on and off all day.
And Jess's daddy is caring for her.
I'm 20, but not really because I'm 5.
Adopted mommy and daddy who are totally comfortable with me being a little girl.
I identify as an 8-year-old girl called Denise. Therefore, I am an 8-year-old girl.
Well, there you go, folks. There you go, folks. A great way to start the episode, showing you people that think they are children. All right, so welcome to the FC's Bleeding Edge, folks. We're live here Friday, April 7th, and going to be doing a breakdown and ranking of Phase 4 of the films for Marvel Studios for you people. Yeah, so all of 2022 films. We're even including Morbius in this ranking video as well. Simply the fact that it was a collaboration between Sony and Marvel because, you know, it's a Marvel character. But anyways, you want to just welcome Jocelyn to the comment sections. Welcome, Jocelyn. Great to have you in the comment section as always. Yes, you are the first one here. Great to see you. And of course, what the fuck too as well on that video. Most definitely, it was a Jeff thing because, you know, Jeff, he loves to do that. Anyways, so like I said, we're going to be ranking these 2022 Marvel films. Last week, we did the TV series and TV specials. Of course, we'll roll out some of the trailers for these films as well, just to kind of recap for you guys and all that kind of stuff. Of course, as always, we have my loyal co-host, Mr. Jeff S. TrueKnowledge in the house. How we doing, Jeff?
I now identify as a 7-year-old girl now. So from now on, I'd like to be called Leslie. All right, and I'd like to be addressed as a child.
Okay, there you have it, people. So he is now.
That's why I wear my pink Ironheart shirt.
That's why. So he's Jesse now and a 7-year-old girl.
That's right.
All right, people. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jesse. Anyways, we also have joining us in the panel is Mr. Andres. How we doing, Andres?
Pretty good, sir. I like just to be called Andreas. That's all. I'm a 26-year-old man, so I'm happy about that.
All right, so you heard it right there, people.
Good comeback.
26-year-old male.
Good comeback,
named
man.
Andres. All right, so you can also find him on the pop culture under the pop culture guy. So don't forget to check him out too as well and check out his stuff. Really fantastic stuff. Really knowledgeable. Great guy to have on the panel. All right, people. So of course, we're going to do exactly how we did the TV shows and TV series last week. We'll go from best to worst on the scale 1 to, I think, how many was it? 6? No, 5. 5 altogether, since we're including Morbius in this wonderful scaling. And we're just going to go around the table like last week, talk about all the goods, the bads, and all that kind of good stuff. So just to kind of get things started, guys, how about we just go around and just briefly tell me how you feel about the slate that came out last year of films. And did it leave any impact on you? What were your thoughts on just the slate itself? And just kind of anything else you'd like to mention about that slate? I'll start with you, Andreas.
Okay, cool. So to perfectly sum up last year for me, while I was doing this content, it was like you really saw the cracks coming into Phase 4 last year. You saw a lot of errors of the storytelling, the humor, the very aggressive expansion of the MCU, which is not like a big surprise, but it was really like bam, we have Clea, played by Charles Duthan, post-credit scene, and it's like, how we know that she's gonna be in the next film or whatnot, and like it was like, really, like compared to the MN3 post-credit scenes, they were actually serious post-credit scenes lead into the next Phase 5 projects, like Loki, right? That was like the same thing with Love and Thunder. Like the Hickory's thing was just like, I like the potential of that as a Thor 5, but like when, like we don't know like that's gonna happen soon, you know, whatever. But you know, man, it's tough because I love phase 4. Like I like the risk in taking the director's vision. Like Doctor Strange 2 is so Sam Raimi. I love it. Like the horror, like if you've seen Sam Raimi in the original Spider-Man trilogy or the Evil Dead trilogy, like I did, like it's pure Sam Raimi film. I like it. But at the same time, it's like that movie was so flawed with the storytelling. Love and Thunder, just like I appreciate Taika Waititi, but the humor was just too much. And then Wakanda Forever was, for me, it's the best one in 2022 because it was taking itself seriously, but again, just had the same problems like those two films, which we'll get into more in depth. But yeah, overall, I thought last year was like you really saw the cracks in Phase 4. Like everyone's saying it was too much, and that's what happened.
All right, thank you, sir. Jeff, same question, sir.
You know, honestly, you know how it is, Cyber. That's such a even for my long-winded ass, man. It's tough to really encapsulate or flush out a question like that. Something as big a scope, right? As you know, as even just the impact with Phase 4 of these films, right? Remove Morbius if you want to. I guess I don't know. I mean, I personally, I like to add the Sony stuff. Not just because of Spider-Man, because I think those are Marvel comic characters, right? So I mean, if films come out and those are based off Marvel comic characters, I don't care if Marvel's involved. Marvel's going to be involved in it at that point. They're going to be like Marvel Studios is going to be involved in some way. We never know to what capacity, but right. Go ahead, Andres.
I mean, like that's like Spider-Verse. Like we have to include Spider-Verse. Like same thing with the DC stuff, with the Elseworld stories, like Joker and the Batman. So it's not like a big surprise.
No, and I'm just letting Josh know real quick. Hey, Josh, what's up? How you doing, hon? Just to be clear, Josh, I don't know who you're referring to, but I'm not an ass man myself. I don't have a type, and I love every aspect of a woman, not just her butt. So,
Booty.
Right? I'm one of those white knight guys that when I go on the dating sites, I don't even look at their pictures. I just read their profiles. Right? I'm very deep like that. But anyways, I'm very ethical like that, I make it clear to them right from jump. I'm not trying to have sex. Right? So if they're trying to get laid, it ain't happening. Not with me. You know what I'm saying? Right? Yeah.
Right. That's a very intriguing answer.
If you're trying to have sexual intercourse with me and shit and all that, hey, chill out now. You know what I'm saying? Haven't you heard that that celibacy is the new hip thing? But you thought I had an ass? Oh well, yeah, I have an ass. But anyways, believe me, it's not. It doesn't look like as good as Thor's. I can tell you that right now, or Chris Hemsworth's in Thor: Love and Thunder. Right?
Yeah.
I wish it did, but anyways, no. Honestly, I think that probably is the best part of Thor: Love and Thunder. Even for me as a man, that's how bad Thor: Love and Thunder was. That the best part of it was seeing Thor's ass and seeing him naked for me. Right? I found that more impressive than fucking the mighty Thor fucking whatever bullshit. But no, I mean essentially, honestly, Morbius is fucking better than Love and Thunder. I can tell you that right now. I learned that very quickly today. It's actually a pretty damn decent movie. So I don't know why people ripped it apart and everything and whatnot. It's not bad at all. It's actually very cohesive.
Let's wait and discuss.
No, I'm waiting. No, I know. No, all right. To answer your question very simply, I'd say that 2021 was weird because it was right. COVID pandemic was still on. Only certain studios were even open when we saw Black Widow, right? I mean, Cyber, it was just me and my sister for that. That was it. It was my first time in my life in a theater by myself, right? No one was even there. You know what I mean? It was really fucking weird, man. You know what I mean? In a way, if you think about it, it set a tone in a way for how things were going to go almost to some extent. I should have realized it looking back now, holy shit. you wonder to some extent how much of an impact COVID and the pandemic really had. It had to have affected some stuff with Marvel. It had to.
Like because like the beginning, like you saw the finished touches. Like Black Widow felt like a very complete film, and minus the final act, but like it's polished. Same thing with Shang-Chi. Like it's polished, but you look at like Love and Thunder CGI and all that is like just horrible. I mean, and same thing with the Disney Plus shows. Not to go back to that, but it's like same problem with those. Whatever.
No, long story short, Cyber, I think that you already know, and I'll bring this up later too. I would have liked to have seen Scott Derrickson's script, at least known his story, what he wanted to do with his film. I would have liked to have known. No slight against Sam Raimi at all. Nothing like that at all. I'm not trying to question anything with that decision and whatnot. I understand what happened. I get it. And I think Derrickson handled it pretty well, actually. I think he did, to tell you the truth. He could have got nasty with it, and he didn't. Right? I mean, they gave him the film, and then they took it away from him, essentially. Right? So, they did.
He did like one snark when everywhere, all at once came out, and like people like use that film as like, this is how you do a multiverse. That's how like divisive Doctor Strange became. Like even that director used that film. I think
Derrickson may have said a couple of nasty words here and there or whatever. He didn't. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying.
He never attacked Marvel Studios.
No. I don't blame him for being a little bit upset because he believed for a long time that he was going to do that film. He had a vision for it, and then they decided to go in a different direction, and it was not the direction he wanted to go in. Right? He believed in what he wanted to do, and you can't blame him for that. You can't. Right? And that's why they got Raimi, because Raimi was down to do what they wanted to do. So it was right up his alley. So either way, I think that like very much to mirror Andres, and then I'd love to hear what you have to say, Cyber. I think that really it was the combination of Love and Thunder, She-Hulk, right? And then fucking Wakanda Forever, right? That just crushed Phase 4. It just crushed it. It fucking destroyed it. Right? It was coasting till then. Then that happened, man. And then they threw Werewolf at Night at us, and we were like, what the hell? Are you fucking kidding me? So, hey, interesting, man. Very interesting.
Indeed. And so my thoughts on this phase was it definitely isn't Marvel's best phase. It wasn't its best batch of films, but overall, there were entertaining elements in each film. And definitely out of the three, there's one that has better stuff than the other two. And so, just to reiterate, there are only 3 Marvel films last year. So there is 4 altogether we'll be doing with Morbius. So there was only 3. There was Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness, then Thor, Love and Thunder, and then Wakanda Forever. So we'll be talking about 4 films. All right, so basically that's my thoughts on that phase. There's not much to say for me because it was just kind of a rebuilding phase for them. It was kind of that initial shock after they, built up all the way to Endgame. And so then we saw kind of the fallout with, Phase 4, beginning of Phase 4, the end of Phase 4, beginning of Phase 5. So of course, those films like Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, all those films were a part of that building blocks again. Most definitely, I think Shang-Chi was the best out of that series of films that they came out in 2021. That film is by far my favorite.
Same here.
Simu Liu is amazing as Shang-Chi. I love the Awkwafina as his friend, as his kind of his sidekick. I thought that was a great combination. And then just the whole concept of Shang-Chi was just really well done too as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Daniel Destin Creighton does with the second one and what he does with any future films he does. And
wait a minute, who else didn't they already sign up Creighton to do one of the Avengers films?
Yeah, Kane Dynasty. Yeah, in the first part, yeah. which I'm excited for. So
Yeah, so he's gonna be doing Shang-Chi 2 and doing that film as well. But yeah, so that's pretty much my thoughts on Phase 4 or the slate for the last year. But anyways, so we'll go around. Before we do that, you have a trailer you would like to share, Jeff. Or Jesse, sorry. Jesse, 7-year-old Jesse.
That's okay. You can call me Jeff. I'm out of my Jesse Little zone now, and I'm actually back to Jeff now.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
okay.
no, we'll start with the Doctor Strange Multiverse in the Madness one because that's the one that Andres wanted to see. So, right, and we haven't watched it in so long, Cyber. Honestly, man, it's a good fucking trailer, dude.
Yeah, very good trailer.
So much.
I remember when we watched it the first couple of times, man, I was fucking mesmerized.
This has the best effects out of the 3 from last year.
I dreamed the same dream. Then
That music, man.
the nightmare begins.
Love that shot.
I did what I had to do to protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange. You opened the doorway between universes, and we don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right.
I'm sorry, Stephen. Your desecration of reality will not go unpunished.
We should tell him the truth.
Things just got out of hand.
You break the rules. Look out! You become a hero. I do it. I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
Damn, that is a fucking monster of a trailer right there, man. Holy fuck. I forgot how powerful that motherfucker was, dude. I'm sorry, but guys, those fucking those shots with Scarlet Witch are outstanding. They're fucking outstanding. They really are, man. Like seriously, they're emotional, like they're gripping. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what the hell's even going on. You know what I'm saying? Her facial expressions, her body language in those shots, like she's just an amazing actress. Elizabeth Olsen's just fucking very talented.
Yeah, I mean,
they really did a wonderful fucking job getting her, man.
Yeah, the only reason this movie made more money was just because they had Wanda. Like her inclusion to this film was like the reason people were excited for. I mean, especially after Wanda version, it's like, oh my god. So yeah, she's the best thing about that movie. For me.
Oh, Cyber, do you not? We talked about this a long time ago. Do you not agree that probably it was WandaVision that influenced them to want her in the film?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that WandaVision was a part of the story they already had created. So that was just kind of extension of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So they had already planned Doctor Strange 2 with her in it. They just happened to coincide with WandaVision coming out the previous year and giving her kind of that backstory to get you set for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Let me restate that. What I meant to say was that I don't think they'd intended on giving her such a pivotal role in the film at first. I don't think that's what I kind of was going with, but I could be wrong, of course. I think she basically earned it. She put herself in a position where they had to almost make her more of a catalyst in the movie. Where if anything, based off the initial what we were hearing about the film in the beginning when Darrison was doing it, her role in the film was going to be subliminal at best. It was not going to be massive. She was going to be a part of a team, like a group that they were going to assemble for him.
Yeah, Michael Wender, the writer for this movie, when he was brought in, after the Derrickson / his team were gone from this project, he mentioned that Wanda was initially the heroic and it was slowly being corrupted by the Darkhold, but this is where it was the problem with Doctor Strange. It's like you have the best character, use her as the main villain. And they did it. They made the decision to make her the main villain, which is devil's what is it? Devil advocate? Like
advocate.
Yeah, it's one hand. I love her. She's my favorite villain of this Phases, after Wang Wu. But it's like all that work from WandaVision is just, we'll discuss that. But,
wow, I never even thought about that. She is the best fucking villain. She is.
Out of the slate last year?
She probably is the best one. Yeah, she's the best villain. Honestly, I'm sorry, but like Tony Leung is a fucking badass. In the trailers, he was sick. But in the movie, he was fucking delusional or whatever. He didn't make any sense.
Oh, no. He makes sense. No. Wang Wu was the best villain last year, 2021, in Shang-Chi. He was a very sympathetic villain.
I respect your opinion. In the trailers, for me, he was that guy. I couldn't wait. But then when I saw the movie, I was like, they even took out the scene where he was like, in the trailers, where he told the Shang-Chi, like, don't speak to me like that again, boy. They took that out of the fucking movie. Right? Like, I like that. I like that Tony Leung. I like that friggin' Mandarin. Like, you know what I'm saying?
We sort of got that when, the kids, like kind of disrespect him, when he was telling his army about the mission they were going through.
Hey,
just like fight,
They treated him better than they did Bale. That's all I'll say.
Hey, that's true. Or Mile, Matt Smith's character in Morbius.
Who even was the villain in Wakanda Forever?
Namor. How you?
Oh, okay.
He's also great. He's the best villain.
Okay, I didn't know.
Oh, anyway.
I'm wondering if they're gonna have the Care Bears in Black Panther 3.
No, how Namor is the most iconic Marvel character, and he's literally the best thing about Wakanda Forever. How do you make a joke about that?
So why did they change his name to fucking Watutu?
That's actually part of the culture. Anyway, no. Let's move on. Let's go. I don't know you, Jeff. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I don't know you. I don't know you.
Andres, I'm just messing around.
Jeff,
come on.
If you see a pod in your room, that's the alien pod that's going to switch you, and you'll be an alien. The patient, the biosnipers tonight, buddy. By your friendly neighborhood, Andreas pop culture guy.
Okay, well, make sure you set it right next to my Bacta tank.
Yep. Right next to the Bacta tank. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that way I can get an extension plug with the two things and whatnot, and I can plug them both in.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
All right, people. All right. So that was that first trailer for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse Madness was really well done. It's a really good trailer, and the subsequent trailers that came out were just as good as two, I felt. But yeah, that was a good refresher for us for this phase, or I should say the slate of 2022. Yeah. All right, so going around the table, let's start with your number one pick of the 2022 slate. We're going to start with you, Andreas, and go ahead and take your time and tell us your pros, your cons, everything about why you like it, all that good stuff.
Okay, So I gonna pick the one that really is the movie that like saved the last like I disagree, Jeff. I think this movie saved Phase 4 from collapse, and this number one for me is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Man, this movie was very powerful. I mean, I never experienced a theater when we had the Marvel Studios logo, and of course this one was with all the Chadwick Boseman images. Dead silent. I never ever experienced that. It really shows the shock. Like just, I mean, I can't believe it's like 2 years, 3 years since Chadwick Boseman died. So yeah, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is number one for me because it's the most like. Here's the thing: this is the most serious film in Phase 4. Emotionally, I've it's third after Shang-Chi and either No Way Home for many people. Pros, I will say the pros is Ryan Coogler. I think Ryan Coogler did such a good job of handling not only the death of Chadwick Boseman, making a tribute, which I think was satisfying for me and everyone else. But also making it very like deep and like everyone was grieving, and you saw that in the screen. Like, come on, like Angela Bassett, another great pro here. She hit it in the park here, and her Oscar nomination was deserving. And I wish she won this year, but whatever. Yeah, the cast was great here. Wilson Stu, Balku, Okoye, Nikia, and of course Sherry. They're all top. And Nemor, he was like, we're not gonna rank the villains, but like he's like top 3 or top 4 tier Phase 4 villains after Wanda or Wang Wu or Green Goblin in this phase. I think that new actor, I cannot pronounce his name. Turkin something, who played Nemor, like he was really great, and I think he delivered that character to life in such a new and innovative way. Now, cons of Wakanda Forever. It it suffers a lot of the Phase 4 problems, being too aggressive of the expansion of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I say earlier in the video here, just like setting up things that are not going to pay off in the next phase. So in this case, the whole like Val / Ross roles here, that's going to set up Thunderbolts and Secret Invasion that's going to come out in June. Like, we don't really need that. Like, I feel like they took up too much of the time. And then the another con here is with that, it was like we had like, I was just shocked that they completely underutilized and didn't give enough time of the main characters or supporting characters in that matter that you love from the first film. Like Mbagdu doesn't have much to do here. He has a limited role here, but like Wilson Dukes, my God, like great actor. He gives it like Mbagdu has presence when he pops up. Like, it's great. Like him chewing that carrot in that throne room was hilarious, and I think he does that. And then of course later when he's talking to the chancellor, he say like, this is Tuk Khan, and just the way he says it and pronounces it is just so hilarious. Yeah, and then just Okoye, like I love Okoye, and I love the actress from The Walking Dead, that's Michonne. She's there in the first half, and then she disappears, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, I get you're trying to set up everything, and setting up Ironheart, Rhea Williams, which I like her, but that's also a con. It's like, you don't need her to be in this film. Just set her up in her Disney Plus show. So overall, it's the better of the three because it's emotionally like impactful if you understand what they go through, and this is like the most like serious superhero we have, and I think this is second best after the Batman. But again, it has some problems like Phase 4, but I think it's one of the best Phase 4 films we have, and I think it hits you so strongly, and it takes itself seriously. Where the jokes were great, it landed, it didn't outstay its welcome. So that's the big thing. So this is why it's number 1 for me.
All right, thank you, sir. Very good, very good. Jeff, same question, sir. Your number 1 pick of the 2022 slate, and you are muted.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. I'll have to go. I have no choice but to go with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Even though I don't think it was all that good, I really don't. It was not even close to as good as the first Doctor Strange film. And honestly, it's one of those things you got to just make the best out of what you got with this type of shit. And all I can really say is just that I certainly have my my complaints about the movie. We reviewed it, and I have not watched it since. I need to watch it again. I do. I've been thinking to myself lately that I need to make an effort to go back and rewatch a lot of Phase 4 stuff again. Cyber, we talked about that, right? I think I need to kind of refresh myself with the material again and kind of revisit it and see if maybe I feel any different about any of it. It never hurts, but because you know how that goes with any movie, right? Oh, by the way, thank you, Andres, for since Cyber and I decided last night we're going to start doing some straight up legit movie reviews of non-fandom types. Thanks for dropping Devil's Advocate on me. So now I'm going to add that to my list for what we can review. I love that movie. Shout out to Keanu Reeves, baby. And Charlize Theron looked hot as hell in that movie, too.
Oh, my God, yeah. And Al Pacino.
Al Pacino? Hell yeah.
Yeah. And guess what? Those two, Al and Charlize, were in comic movies. Al in Dick Tracy and Charles and
I know.
Crazy.
No, that's a good ass movie. It really is. Although I gotta be honest with you, Keanu Reeves' southern accent is appalling. But that's another conversation.
Look, it's not as worse as his performance in Brian Stroke's Dracula.
Okay. I was about to say, I thought you were actually going to say something bad about freaking Breakpoint, about what's it called, Point Break or whatever. Okay, so say that's a good ass movie, but no, Doctor Strange Multiverse of the Madness is a pretty solid film, right? I like Raimi, I do as a director. I don't like some of the humoristic stuff he adds to his humor sometimes. I feel like he overdoes it a little bit, and that it could be more effective from a horror standpoint if you would just take away a little bit less of the levity, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't add some, but maybe just take off a little bit off of it, right? Just some of the ways that some of the ways that the freaking the Illuminati were killed, like Peggy Carter, the way she got killed was stupid to me. It was just kind of come on now. No. In general, though, I'll tell you that, honestly, not to bounce too much off you, Andres, and start to blow you up or whatever and whatnot and all that. But, I don't want you to think I'm feeling you. But, honestly, Scarlet Witch was freaking great in that film at times. She just really, I swear, I got these vibes from her at times when she went into full on almost Carrie mode from the Carrie 70s film or whatever whatnot, and she started to get beat up and hurt and bloody and broken and shit while she was trying to follow them and chase them and shit and everything and whatnot. When she actually assumed that other Wanda, right? Her look, her facial expressions and whatnot, the way she looked, her eyes during that whole thing, she reminded me a little bit of freaking What If zombie Wanda, Scarlet Witch. She did, in a way, right? She really did. She looked like a zombie. She wasn't talking, she wasn't saying nothing. She was just walking through shit, getting hurt, bleeding and shit. She was menacing. I don't want to sound too crazy here, but I was almost getting Terminator vibes and shit when I saw some of that stuff at times. It reminded me of Terminator without the Terminator type music, that hardcore industrial, machinery sounding shit type music. So she killed it. She was great. And I guess I think overall I like the inclusion of bringing back and the way that they handled I forget the name of the actress's name from the Notebook that plays
Rachel McCann.
Yes, that plays Kristen Plummer. Yeah. Now, at first, I really wasn't sure where her place would fit in this film. I didn't understand it really. I didn't get it. But I liked what they did with it. I thought it worked out. It made sense, kind of, right? And I was happy at the end that they even if things didn't get worked out or whatever, they got to have they continued that into the film, that dynamic in some way. It was really great to see, Professor Xavier from the Fox X-Men films. Obviously, that was wonderful. It was awesome. It was the biggest moment for me. The whole thing was seeing Reed Richards in the film. It was literally the biggest fucking moment for me in the whole movie. I jumped and shouted and shit and everything when it happened. I was like, "You fucking kidding me?" Right, Cyber? Is that what I said on the show? I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Mm-hmm. Seriously.
You did.
Yep. And then fucking on top of that, they dropped fucking what's his name from fucking the Inhumans too?
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt. I'm like, yo, are you kidding me, dude? Black Bolt too? And then they even showed Black Bolt in action too. Like they showed what he could do. I was like, fuck. Seriously? Come on now. And then on top of that too, I like the whole deal with Captain Marvel being freaking Monica Rambeau's mom. That was dope. I like that shit. I thought that was really cool. I thought to myself in the theater, I wonder what a show would be like with her on it, right? If she was Captain Marvel, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot, like how she'd do. She seems like she seems like a pretty solid actress. That woman who played her in that.
Yeah, she's Alana Lynch. She was in the new Bond film, No Time to Die. She was great.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I liked her. I thought she did a good job.
She's the best female Captain Marvel for me.
Yeah, but either way, of course, I mean, I to this day, I don't understand why anybody really believes that Scarlet Witch is dead. It's just so stupid. I mean, seriously, she's not dead. Are you freaking kidding me? Come on, man. I mean, she's as powerful as she is. Why the hell would some fucking rocks falling on her kill her? How does that even make any sense? Right?
If you see a horror movie, you need to see the body. If you don't see the body, then they're not dead. So it's just like that. It's just a trope of you don't see the body, they're not dead.
No, and that's true. And honestly, now don't get me wrong. In the MCU, we all know that with Disney, we don't always get to see the body, right? Even with Ultron, they didn't show us the body, and he was a robot essentially. But still, though, look, she's freaking she is utterly so powerful that she is a utter what's it called? She's a nexus event superhero, like person, like superpowered being. In other words, she is so powerful that she is the most powerful individual, right? Literally in her entire dimension. There's no one else that can fuck with her. She's a nexus being, right? So I mean, at that point, rocks cannot kill her. You know what I'm saying? Even if she wanted it to, she would not die. And at that point too, and then all I'm going to say is this. Just as a little question to you, Cyber, a little question to you, Andres. With what I know, obviously we're not going to talk about it today. We'll talk about another show. What happened yesterday, as far as what's been released, as far as what direction Marvel is going to go, and Disney with the releases for the next, for the future on or whatever. We'll see how long they stick to it. But overall, if they ever wanted to make solo films, if they ever needed Elizabeth Olsen in the MCU, right? It's now, right? They need her. They cannot afford to lose her, right? They need her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You were last year was in the Comic-Con last year. Twitter was crazy. People thought legitimately thought that we're gonna get a Scarlet Witch announcement solo film. That's how big Scarlet Witch has become, and it will happen. I think with the thing with the MCU is these projects have to fit in to the overall arc of the the saga they're doing. So this will probably be in after the multiverse saga, maybe. So we'll see. You know. I mean,
I never heard that, Andre. I never heard that. Sorry, you ever hear that? I never heard people were actually believing that was going to happen at Comic-Con.
You have to see Twitter. Like that's like when.
Oh wait, hey, don't. I'm okay with Twitter. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like every articles and like everyone were, you know, because everyone speculated what was going to be announced, and people were highly like that crazy, and like they wanted, you know, because here's the thing, like Doctor Strange 2 felt more like a Scarlet Witch movie than a actual Doctor Strange. So that's my
whatever. I'm telling you right now, some of you people with Twitter, man, and everything, whatnot, you get so into it, whatnot, and all that. Try going on Rizzo for a couple of years straight and fucking being called every name in the book every goddamn day, right, Cyber? See what that's like.
What?
I said, people act like Twitter is so intense and whatnot and everything. I'm like, go on Rizzo for a couple of years and just fucking talk and be called every name in the book every day of your life. Over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know?
Yeah, no, I would say they're equal. I would say they're equal, most definitely. You have to really be on Twitter a lot to see that. But yeah, it's you have to really interact on Twitter to see that. But yeah, I mean, I see it all the time because I'm on Twitter every day.
No, you're right. You're right. I'll give you credit on that one. You're right, Andres, too. I'll give you credit because, like I told Cyber recently, he knows once or twice I have had a couple people we tried to collaborate with go bad on me, like go fucking nuts on me on Twitter, and the mob just jumps immediately, right? The minute that they fucking call you out, all these assholes that don't even know you and shit and whatnot are just on you, right?
Yeah.
It's like they have no life. You know what I'm saying? Like they just never stop.
Yep, that's what happened when there was no solo Scarlet Witch film. People were angry.
And they don't even get that. I don't even care. Like I'm not even on there. I don't even give a shit.
Anyway,
whatever. No, it's just funny to me. They're sitting there. They're so obsessed and passionate about it. I don't even look at the shit. Who cares? Truth is truth, so I don't need to know what that crap says. Anyways, I apologize, Cyber. I don't mean to go off my tangent, sir. Hats off to you. What would Sir Cyber? What would your number one pick be?
It's okay, Jeff. I understand.
I know it's Love and Thunder.
No, it's not. No, actually, you're all going to be surprised. My number one is going to be Morbius.
I knew it.
Morbius is going to be my number one, and I'll tell you why.
I knew it.
Morbius, even though it was considered, you know, a really bad film because it was in nightmare hell from being pushed back several times and so many rewrites and so many, you know, reshoots and all that kind of stuff. The reason I like it the best out of the last slate is because it entertained the shit out of it and entertained me because I absolutely loved Leto as Morbius. He was fantastic as the character. I love Doctor Strange and the Multiverse Madness, and it's a great film. But there were a couple things that irked me about it more than Morbius. Hence why Morbius is number one. Now, Morbius, even though it was considered, you know, such a crap film too, I thought that, you know, Matt Smith was a decent villain. I thought that the concept was a really good way of introducing Morbius as well. And I like that they kept it where he was, you know, a bloodsucker, that he actually needed blood to survive. Like, they didn't, like, try to Disneyfy it. They didn't try to, you know, change up what Morbius is. He's a living vampire. And I thought that Sony and that Marvel collaboration did a good job and gave us a, you know, for what it was, a decent film and very entertaining. Now, is it the best movie ever? No. Hands down, no. It has a lot of problems because it just was very incoherent because of all the mess ups for it, because it was pushed back and all the things that happened to it. But for what all those ended up becoming, it became a solid, actually entertaining film. And like I said, when I first saw it, I had no qualms, any bads about it. You know, after I've watched it a couple times now, I've seen more things and stuff like that, of course. But overall, I just think that it's a fun film, and I like the concept, and I like the idea, and I thought it was a decent first outing for Morbius as a character in live-action form. So until Craven comes out this year, the end of this year, we'll see just how, you know, Sony tries to keep up with their Marvel content. But I honestly think, besides the Venoms, this is a really solid film. And like I said, I thought everyone in it was really great. I liked all the characters. I thought they all did a decent job for what it was. And I thought Daniel Espinosa did a good job of, having to deal with what he had to coming into this film. He did a good job of trying to make somewhat of a cohesive sounding film. Now, I know there's a lot of parts that probably a lot of people didn't make sense at it because it did cut from material they had filmed that they did cut out. And I get that. I understand that does make a lot less sense, and that's where that incoherentness comes out. But if you watch the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray or the 4K, whatever you decide to buy, if you do decide to buy it, it actually, if you watch those incoherent with the film, it makes so much more sense, and the film is a lot better. So I've watched that. I've done that a couple times now, and it makes it a way better film than what was presented in theaters. But overall, I think Morbius was the best for me out of last year's slate, simply for the fact that it just was entertaining, and it was a really good outing to see a different type of character, too, as well, come out of the MCU, or the Marvel Universe anyways, that we hadn't seen before. And digitally, I thought he looked just like Morbius was supposed to look in the comics. He did a great job of keeping that together and giving us that really solid look. But yeah, that's the reason for my number one of Morbius. All right. Awesome, guys. Okay. Do you have any other trailers to share with us, Jeff?
I do. And, I want you to know right now that I thought very hard for a minute there and almost picked Morbius myself as number one. And then I decided last second to switch over to Doctor Strange. I did. So I was in the same track as you, Cyber. I was going to go with Morbius. I was. So obviously you know who my number two already is, right? So there you go. It's already been spoiled. It's already there. We already know now, right?
We already know, people. We already know.
What a shock.
So just to kind of break things up, we'll see if we can find a trailer here for you
guys.
I
got you, baby. I got you.
And we'll do that real quick.
It's your favorite one, too, Cyber.
Woohoo!
Kids, get your popcorn now. Let me tell you the story of the space Viking, Thor Odinson. He was no ordinary man. He was a god. After saving planet Earth for the 500th time, Thor set off on a new journey. Well, he got in shape. He went from dad bod to god bod. And after all that, he reclaimed his title. The one and only Thor
Odinson.
Oh, spoke too soon.
Jane? The old ex-girlfriend.
What's it been, like 3-4 years?
8 years, 7 months and 6 days, give or take.
Am I sensing feelings?
Well, you're right. The only ones who gods care about is themselves. So this is my vow. All gods will die. I just want to say that was very, very impressive what you did back there.
He's just my first bad guy.
You never forget your first. You are not like the other gods of kill. You have something worth fighting for.
Let's see who you are. I take off your disguise. And flick.
Oh, you flicked too hard, damn it!
And eventually, right?
That is so funny. That is so fucking funny, man.
Super funny. That one of the best sequences in that movie. Oh my god,
I love it. I love it. I love it. See, you know what? That's good. I don't like it's funny when like the dude falls down too. Like the dudes are falling, like
Yeah,
passing out doing shit.
that made me laugh. I was like,
yeah,
oh
you know
my
what? That's how you do humor like that. That's well done. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not making people feel awkward or like fucking being woke. That's just humor. It's funny. You know what I mean? Like, that shit's funny, right? You know what I mean? Like, you're not injecting any crazy, serious stuff in it. It's just like, hey, the dude's shit is so impressive. Even dudes are fucking like passing out over here over his shit, right? It's funny as shit. You know, that was funny. It was. No, I'm sorry, Cyber. I forgot. The first trailer was your favorite one. My bad. No, Andre, Cyber called it from jump. When we did the reaction to the Thor trailer, he was like, nah, man. Nah, I don't like this one. This ain't gonna fly for me. He didn't like Wakanda Forever either. Cyber's fucking a pretty good metric with shit, man. I'm telling you right now. He calls it pretty straight usually. Like, I mean, he thought the Wakanda Forever trailer was sort of a joke, and the movie was a fucking joke. So, like, direct, straight line. And I'm fucking with you purposely by saying that, Andres. That's why I said that like that, just to mess with you, just to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
No, but he is. He's good though. He is like that. Like, seriously, he didn't slam Thor: Love and Thunder trailer. He said, "I'm not really all that hyped by it. I don't think it's all that impressive to me." That's all he said. Same thing with Wakanda Forever. He's like, maybe this next one will be better, but right, this one just didn't really get me like the other people like. Seemed like they're flipping out over it.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, people have that. It's tough to understand, like, get the spectrum of like how excited people are. But I mean, this and the Wakanda trailer were the best. I mean, Marvel Disney's marketing team are so good with their trailers. I mean,
I want to play the Wakanda Forever trailer. I love it. Whatever I think of the film, the fucking Wakanda Forever trailer, I think is great.
Yeah, one of the best. I mean, oh my god, like the beginning shot and the song. You know,
that's the reason. What's her name actually win an Oscar?
That's different. That's Ryan. That's Ariana's like original song she had towards the end of the credits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
the trailer music song is a Bob Marley song, "No Woman Cry," and this is sung by a different artist, which is it's a great rendition of the song. It hits you because it has just like the grief and. You know, Chadwick Boseman.
Thank you, Andres. Me and Simon really appreciate you letting us know about Bob Marley. We've never heard of him before. You know, he seems really cool. You know what I'm saying?
That's like a famous like 70s. Oh my god, I don't know, like 70s, 80s artist, and like Brian Cooker like picked that specifically to hit you.
Simon, you see this guy over here?
Hit you hard. Hit you hard.
Apparently, he doesn't realize what sarcasm is.
I know, Andre, dude. I just bought my first record player like I've ever had in my life. Of course, it's Audio Technica. I'll show it to you guys. I have it right over there. I haven't opened it up the box yet. Of course, it's Audio Technica, baby. Right. So when I send my my picture, when I take a picture of all my Audio Technica stuff, and I send the media kit to them, and I'm like, yo. We want you to advertise with us and whatnot every day. I've got some more shit that I can show that I bought. But the first records I bought to go with it were Fleetwood Mac Rumors, the Leonard Skinner classic, their classic hits, all Leonard Skinner classic hits. I also got an Aerosmith one. They didn't have much to choose from at Walmart. Aerosmith. I got Fiona Apple. Early Fiona Apple from the 90s. I like her. And I got The Doors. The album that was the one, the LA Woman one, the live record they did of the LA Woman performance they did before he died.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It was one of the first really solid recording. It was one of the last really solid recordings of a full Doors show that was done before he died.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought LA Woman was one of their best fucking records. It really was. I love that shit.
Yeah.
And this has been a PSA for Audio Technica.
That's right, baby. That's right. Hey, we got to start being slick with this shit, man.
Slick, people, slick.
No, but don't worry, Andre.
Audio Technica.
We'll get you'll get you some Wakanda Forever trailer. I promise you.
Okay. I was thinking more bringing up the Batman trailer. So
Oh God!
Favorite.
Wait a minute. Wait, Cyber.
Excuse me. That's DC, not Marvel.
Does this guy? Cyber, what is going on with this guy? Does he not understand that there's literally like 17 different guests from the Bleeding Edge that if I play that trailer right now, they're gonna fucking like call me and be like, dude, are you kidding me?
No.
Exactly.
No. F them. Do it for me. I will pay you $20 to see the Batman trailer.
No,
please, Jeff.
No,
please.
even I know I overplayed the fucking Batman trailer as bad. Like I was embarrassed.
I don't care. I'm a Batman fan. I'm a Batman fan. I will take every minute of that trailer and the secondary.
Another show. We'll watch it. I'm sorry. I played it too many fucking times, man. You don't understand.
Cyber, help me out here.
You don't get it, man. You have no idea how many times I played it at one point.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
Anyways, people, so let's get back to the ranking show. Audio
let's go. Come on, Jeff.
Or the fucking Batman trailer, where'd that come from?
Jeff. What are you talking about, Jeff? You were distracting about albums, and I'm like, what?
Oh, I did it. Okay.
Who else would do it? We are. Anyways, folks. All right. So, moving on to our second ranked film. So second place for you guys. Same thing, your pros, your cons, all that kind of good stuff about it. All that good things. We just watched the Thor: Love and Thunder trailer, so I'm sure not a lot of us are going to say that is our second, but still at the same time, that the first full trailer was a lot better than that teaser trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder. So Jeff is right. When the first teaser trailer, I did not feel it. Same thing with Wakanda Forever, most definitely. The first trailer actually from a Marvel film that I actually enjoyed the trailer when they released the teaser was Ant-Man Quantumanium finally. So it took a while. It actually took a while. Probably since Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, I should say. That was the last trailer I really enjoyed. So it was almost a year before I got another trailer I really enjoyed. But anyways, so our second pick, pros and cons, all that good kind of stuff. Take your time, say what you like, and we'll start with you again, Andreas.
Sure. Speaking of Multiverse Madness, so my second is Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. It's my second one. Okay, so pros, out of the Phase 4 projects, this is definitely the most director-driven you've seen, of the Marvel Phase 4 projects, and it's Sam Raimi. Three things, pros that is going for this movie is horror, Sam Raimi, and Scarlet Witch. That's it. Those are the three best things about these movies, and they deliver on that. A lot of the biggest pro for me is the third act. This is the first, and this movie has the best third acts of any superhero films. Come on, I love Doctor Strange bargaining Dormammu multiple times and getting killed multiple times in a time loop. And then here they literally top that by having, Doctor Strange becoming a zombie Strange and over the Marvel 616, and then telling this soft, inspirational speech to American Chavez to control her powers finally while he's in this zombie body. It's so goofy, but it just Cumberbatch just nails that, and it's just so directed well. Elizabeth Olsen just kills it. Back, her performance as Scarlet Witch is amazing. She's the best thing about this movie, but also the worst thing about this movie, and I'll get to that con. But overall, I think Elizabeth Olsen was the greatest part about this film. I don't think this is not that strange. This is Scarlet Witch in the Multiverse of Madness. This is a Scarlet Witch film. Despite, as Jeff, you brought up Christy Palmer, the carryover they did with the first film. But I mean, let's be honest here. In the MCU community, like no one really cares about that relationship. Despite I like the actors, Rachel McAdams and Benedict Cumberbatch, or the what if episode of Doctor Strange, that, so exploring that relationship. I like them as a pair, but it's just it it needs more time to develop that in the course. And the thing is that these gaps are hurting that. We just saw her in the first one, and then it's been like 6 years. So yeah. Anyway, and Sam Raimi, I was so happy to hear Sam Raimi coming back. I thought he really delivered everything. I mean, oh come on, like the music fight of Doctor Strange versus the Sinister Strange is so iconic. I love it. The music fight is just one of my favorite things of 2022. After the Batman or whatever, that's a DC film. Who cares? Yeah. So, but yeah. Okay, cons. Story. Yeah, I'm sorry. The Batman, exactly. Yeah, the Batman is the best thing about 22. Eat me, everyone. Anyway, cons is the story. Yeah, I know it beats Morbius. I'm sorry, Cyber. Anyway, so uh, the cons. Unfortunately, the story it's just very flimsy. Like, I mean, you have the writer is from Loki. You think he knows the rules and setup for a multiverse, and like he contradicts. Well, you think he would bring up like the phases, like the phrase, like variants. Like in Loki, like we always throw out variants, and I was surprised that the movie that brought that was in Ant-Man 3, and it's like, wait a minute, you think Doctor Strange 2 will bring that term of phase of variants and all that. And then and of course like the WandaVision entry into Doctor Strange 2 is very problematic because it did not, like, it's not very clear. I think the post credit scene from WandaVision didn't help at all. I appreciate the writer making the decision to make Wanda as the villain. Like, I get that. It's like, yeah, use her to be the villain, but I think the original plan from Derrickson, like, make her be part of the team of Hero first and slowly incorrupt her, could have been a better way to slow that and then build up her redemption arc into the next Avenger films we having in Phase 5, 6, or whatnot, into her maybe solo films. But again, just they're rushing so many of these storylines. It's like, you cannot, like, stop. Just take your time and build these storylines. And that's the big issue I have with this movie. It's just the story is so underdeveloped and undercooked. And it's like I appreciate these moments, but like you need time to develop that, and that's the issue. I like Doctor Strange, I like Benedict Cumberbatch, but oh my god, I can't believe it. Like, if you've seen our positives, it's like we haven't mentioned Doctor Strange, and that's weird. Doctor Strange is the star of this movie, and it like they have everything right here. Like, his girlfriend's back. I like the idea of are you happy? Like, I like that recurring theme in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse Madness, but is it really satisfying? Because it's like I'm not yet connected to Doctor Strange, like, compared to the other MCU heroes. So anyway, and I guess other con, the Illuminati scene, like, despite that's another iconic scene, I gotta say it even confused me more. Like, okay, when are we gonna get Fantastic Four and X-Men? Like I'm more bothered about the Fantastic Four than the X-Men. Like, I mean, X-Men is X-Men. Like, I'm fine having Xavier here and be killed. That's fine. Because at least Xavier have a cool, like, astral protection scene that remind me of the TV show Legion, how you predicted those scenes. Like, I really appreciate that, how Professor X entering Wanda's mind, and that, like, it was so cool. But I don't know. I think the Illuminati scene was okay. I don't think we really needed that. I feel like, I mean, I like I appreciate they killed them off. Like, I like, because it wasn't like this, like, fancy, like, oh, look, we have here, like No Way Home. Like, I appreciate that, like, killing them off, but I feel like you shouldn't say Mr. Fantastic, for his debut in the MCU, and this, I don't know, but whatever. But it's not my second. I think it's okay. It's like mid-tier, like in terms of MCU ranking, this is mid-tier. I'll put this over Doctor Strange because at least the last pro I'll give is at least it actually became very crazy. It gave us crazy magic and like gave us creative scenes compared to the last Doctor Strange film we had, where that, like, despite we had very cool scenes, it was very tame and was just like paint by numbers. Here it was like they went very crazy, like giant eyeball monster, Doctor Strange versus himself using mystical notes, and then Strange becoming a zombie, and it's crazy. And and last thing I will say, my favorite line from this movie is from Scarlet Witch, "Dreamwalk, you hypocrite," and it throws it out to Doctor Strange. So yeah, number 2 on my list, Doctor Strange 2. I love it. I actually saw it twice. I saw it in theaters and I saw it again in Disney Plus. So I saw this twice. So it made me like it. Same thing with Black Panther 2. I saw it in theaters and I saw it again in Disney Plus. So yeah, these are my favorite of the Phase 4s. Yeah. So yeah, Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch in the Multiverse of Madness. And I'm sorry, the Batman is still the best in 2022. No offense, everyone.
So for the 100th time, we've said the Batman on a MCU show.
That's right.
And people out there, all those that we all know who love the Batman trailer that much that we played on here, we just want to reiterate the Batman again. Anyways,
I think we should at least wait till it's like a fucking DC orientated show to like drop it again or something.
Right, yeah, that's what I was thinking, but
no,
or we can just wait for like a new trailer from DC. You know what I'm saying?
Because, like I could understand if we were doing a 2022 movie ranking episode, but not the MCU. DC, MCU, they're really mixed together. But some people just
our audience will tell you they did not like any of these Marvel movies, and the Batman was still number 1 because it had the heart, the creativity, the passion. It made money, and people liked it, and no complaints, no divided nation like these 4 Marvel movies had done in the Marvel community. So that's my argument of defending the Batman.
Cyber, I'm just thinking, brother, if we run out of ideas, we can always just start doing some ranking shows, and we can do like some interesting, like weird, like kind of out there rankings. We could rank like the fucking most boring fucking podcast out there, like top 10 most boring fucking podcasts out there, and like just boring as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And then explain why they're fucking boring. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Or hosts, or the top 10 boring hosts, or people that like to talk about the Batman.
Anyways. And then we could do like we could rank like the worst, the best shit shows ever across, not just on our show, but like everybody's shows, the best shit shows ever. Just straight up, the best ones. Is it like the worst ones, like the worst, the best and the worst? I guess, right? Is that dichotomy? That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
You know what? Best movie last year was Scream 5. There, I changed.
Bro, I stopped watching Scream until Scream 1, bro.
What? I haven't even seen the sequel.
You know what I'm saying?
Scream 2, like, here, I'll run down.
I was at a double date on Halloween in 1997, right? And I was banging my girlfriend during the movie.
Okay. So, very nice info. But Scream 2, best. Scream 3, blah, 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 boring. Scream 4 is really great if you like Wes Craven. That was his last film directed.
All right.
And then Scream 5 is okay. It's a great way to.
I want to rank now too. All right. I'll hook you up with that guy Ambrose over there with fucking Geek Gauntlet podcast. You guys can commiserate. He defends Brie Larson and shit, whatnot. You think Scream is like Oscar worthy? So y'all be a perfect team.
All I don't know, Oscar-worthy. I'm just saying it's a good movie. That's all.
I'm just messing with you, bro. I'm messing with you, dude.
Anyway, go ahead, Jeff or Cyber.
Is it my turn, Cyber? You want to go last? Or I'll go last?
It is your turn, Jeff.
Okay. All right.
Same question. Your second ranking, sir.
Okay.
The slate of 2022 for the MCU, not DC.
Very simple, and I'm not going to say much either. I already basically talked about it. It's Morbius, and it's because it's honestly, it's better than Love and Thunder. It's a lot better than Love and Thunder. It's better than Wakanda Forever. It's more cohesive than Wakanda Forever, right? It literally is. It's more suspenseful than Wakanda Forever. It is. The action's better, right? It is. I'm sorry. The acting's better. It's more authentic, right? Like seriously, I'm sorry, but like that cast in Morbius can held their own in that Morbius film just as well as anybody in Wakanda Forever. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I freaking I love very much and have a lot of respect for the actress I'm sorry that plays T'Challa's mother.
Angela Bassett.
Yeah, Angela Bassett. Yeah, I'm just having this brain fog lately. Angela Bassett, and you know what? She's been in a lot of good films. I've seen her in a lot of good movies. Andres, I've been watching movies for a long time, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom and dad, whatnot, and everything, always like, having me come sit with them and watch their movies when they watch them, and bringing me out to sit with them and whatnot. And then I just always would come out on my own. So I always would watch the movies. For a long time, brother. And they never stopped me. Everything always like, the fuck. Anyways, and they would never stop. They would never stop me from watching stuff if it was rated R or whatever and whatnot, because this was the 80s and the 90s. So like parents didn't do that to you. At least mine didn't. They're like, they didn't. If there were nudity and whatnot and everything, I just watched it. But either way, a bottom line, I'm not saying Wakanda Forever was terrible, but Morbius was a lot better than fucking people made it out to sound, man. I don't know what anybody was even talking about. Venom 2 was goddamn garbage. Okay, like it was horrible. When fucking the symbiote started rapping and shit, bro, I almost wanted to leave the theater. All right, I almost wanted to leave the theater. I did.
Wait. Did he rap? I just thought he
was
just talking.
No, he was rapping. No, he was rapping.
Cyber, help me out here to remember this movie. Like, he was just talking to the party people, right? Like, I didn't even remember him rapping.
That's I don't recall him rapping at that sequence.
He wasn't rapping. He wasn't rapping, but I mean, come on, it's the symbiote from Venom. Like, he's got a mic in his hand and shit, and he's like spoken word and shit and everything and whatnot, and talking to like the party people and whatnot. Come on, man. Come on.
Well,
I mean, seriously.
It's funny. I mean, like he said, "I love you too."
Whatever. The symbiote in freaking the Marvel comics with Spider-Man would have never done some shit like that ever. Never.
No.
For one thing, the symbiote in Marvel comics would have never left Eddie Brock ever. He never would have separated himself from Eddie. He would have never left him. That's not how they worked. They were a team. They were.
Well, it depends. Like in comics, they did. It was always the situation either Brock
later on. Yeah.
I'm just saving you from the Marvel comic fan.
No, you're right, and that's the thing, Andres. I got to give you credit. You follow more closely to the newer stuff than I do. But no, bottom line. Hey, I thought that I honestly thought that Jared Leto did a good job. Right? They pulled off the Morbius look pretty well. How they did it with the makeup and the costume, whatever, whatnot, and all that. It looked pretty good, I thought. The action scenes were good. They were authentic. They weren't overdone, right, or anything like that. They weren't like grandiose or anything like that. They were pretty simple, people with regular guns and shit, shooting at them and shit, whatnot. I like that kind of stuff. I do. I like it. It's nice to just have some old school like stuff like that. Cops and robbers, cops shooting you with guns and shit. But no, it was pretty interesting. The secondary characters were pretty good, and overall, I mean, I did not find it unenjoyable at the end.
I mean,
excellent.
I mean, good for you too. I mean, I just look, just briefly. Look, I don't mind Sony making these movies. Like, if you can make a Joker film, that's good. I mean, you can make a good, decent Venom movie and Morbius. But I just wish they commit fully to make these films look not legit, but like more like put time and effort and research into these movies. That'd be very good. And that's my problem with Sony. Sony is just very half-baked. And they're just so weird, just like Venom is and Morbius. But anyway, go ahead, Cyber. I'm sorry.
Sure you are. Sure. Anyways, so my second pick. My second pick. No more talking, Andres. No more talking. My turn. Anyways, so my second pick, you guys are just gonna be like, oh yeah, that sounds about right. It is of course Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
What a shock! What a shock! What a surprise!
What a shock! This movie just was, it was really well done. I thought I liked what Sam Raimi did with it. I would have liked to seen, just like what Jeff said. I would have loved to seen the awesome Scott Derrickson return and do this one as well. Just the message, once again, like they said, they were going a different direction. They decided to do something different, so he left the project, which is too bad because he did fantastic with the first film. So I would have really liked to seen what he wanted to do with it, because simply the fact, from my understanding, what he said is that he was going too dark, and that's why they decided to get for him to leave the project, because he wanted to do a really dark tone, almost like his other films that he's done, like Black Phone, Sinister. He actually wanted to go that kind of dark, like Evil Dead, like the remakes of Evil Dead. A really dark tone, almost like his other films that he's done, like
yes, that is you, like echoing in the background.
He actually wanted to go.
Jesus.
I don't even know how it's possible. I have the audio on the Nitro 5 turned off.
Yes, you do have freedom of speech there, Andreas. Anyways,
I'm sending my funny text right now.
I'm closing all my pages.
Yes, just do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Elizabeth Olsen was fantastic as Wanda. Benedict Cumberbatch, I love him as Doctor Strange. He's been fantastic playing the character. And he is just a really good actor anyway. So I think he would just be great in Marvel in any aspect, I feel. Even if he wasn't Doctor Strange, he would have done good in any type of character. But overall, it just, like, there was a lot of great pluses. Like, I love the strange zombie. That was really fantastic. I love the giant eye creature they fight. That was really cool, that fight sequence. I really liked Isola Gomez. She did a great job as being America Chavez.
Yep.
I liked her. I think she was fantastic. I thought she was cute. I thought that she did.
What? Don't forget about Juan. He's the best.
Juan, I don't
know.
I thought you were saying one. I thought you were saying one. Like you. Like
G there, Andre.
Like you too. I thought now we were going to talk about you too and shit.
Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange's friend. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there you go. Well, the Sorcerer Supreme, because that's what he is. Wong, yes, he's fantastic. He's awesome. I absolutely love the actor that plays him. He's fantastic.
Underutilized in the film, though. Underutilized.
They could have used him a little more in the film, most definitely. But when he wasn't in it, he was fantastic. That he was great at that fight sequence with the one-eyed monster as well. But I loved the aspect, like we saw several different Stranges throughout the film. We got to see the Illuminati and the world that they end up going to. I mean, I think the biggest surprise, or my favorite part of that, was the fact when they had John Krasinski come in as Mr. Fantastic. That was awesome. I thought he was a perfect choice for that scene. I really hope that he ends up coming back at some point. I'm hoping. If he doesn't, I get it, but at the same time, it would be nice if he came back as that character, because I thought he did a great job of portraying it in this film. And I thought that whole sequence was really awesome. Wanda taking them all out, killing them all. I mean, that sequence when she's in Xavier's mind was awesome. And bringing back Patrick Stewart as Xavier was amazing too. I love that as well. And Rachel McAdams, of course, I absolutely love her as her character. I was glad that she came back as well. I thought she did a really good job of bringing that character even to more life with, the version she's supposed to be portraying in the film. And of course, she's gorgeous as always, and always just a joy to watch. But yeah, I just thought it was a really good film. Like I said, there was a couple things I didn't care too much for the film, and that's why it's under Morbius for my number one pick. The fact that they decided to go certain routes with the film, not bringing back Scott Derrickson and stuff like that, that really puts a damper on it for me because of just how well Derrickson did with the first one. So if they had kept him, it probably would have been number one for me. But that's one of the reasons why I didn't care too much for it. But overall, it was a really good film. I've watched it like 4 or 5 times now. I get a kick out of it. I think it's fun. And overall, I just think that it was probably my favorite of the MCU films, real MCU films themselves. And I thought they did a pretty decent job with it. So that's why it's my number 2. All right.
And I certainly find that reasonable. I do. I can see why I can totally understand why you would see that. Why Multiverse of the Madness for you, for any other person, how that could be like one of their top MCU films. I can see why completely, right? Because we all have our own personal, interests and whatnot, and like we like certain more. Some of us like more sci-fi or more horror, or they really like that Sam Raimi kind of type humor, right? So that's how we are, right? Those of us that are like multi-layered like that and evolved.
Yeah. This felt like not bringing up the B movie from a certain.
That's right. Don't bring up the B.
Exactly. I thought this really had the passion because a lot of the visual effects look so much more polished than the other 2 MCU films of 2022 or the Disney Plus shows because of Sam Raimi. Like everyone was so excited to have Raimi on board. And it's like everyone was on board and like there was passion. Yeah, that's why I didn't say the full name, Cyborg. You're lucky I didn't say the Dark Knight.
Well, that's fine to say because we haven't talked about that very much.
Yeah, or the Cape Crusaders, the Dramatic Duo, the Dramatic Trio, with back row. Anyway.
It's just that one word. It's just that one word.
Yeah, so, I agreed. I liked your list. That's strange too. Like, it felt fun. Like, that's the thing. Or, Thor, oh my God, it was a nightmare. It was like me being stabbed and, like, being killed for real, but it was in the movie. Jeff, you brought up Wanda. Like she felt like a really slasher villain. Like that was the cool thing about her. Like she felt like a slasher killer, like Michael Myers.
Yes, most definitely. That's why I said no. That's why I tried to. The one I could come up with in my mind was I looked at the Carrie. But you're right. She did have that slasher look to her.
Yeah, so that's why I appreciate
it. Awesome, thank you. Okay. Jeff, do you have any other trailers available, sir?
I do, sir.
How about we do another one to kind of break it up again?
I've got you. I will play Andre's other favorite one just for him. Because he's such a wonderful guy. He's such a great guest. He deserves it.
I'm gonna give you guys $50 to do this.
Why can't I just play the end game trailer or something or some shit? Come on now.
We cannot do that. That's in 2019. Please.
No woman, no cry.
This is a really good rendition of the song. It really is.
Yeah.
No woman, no cry. Good friends we have and good friends we've lost along the way. this great future. You can't forget your past. So dry your tears, I say.
Can I start crying now like all the other little bitches?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh!
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright now. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be.
I am queen of the most powerful nation in the world, and my entire family is gone. Have I not given everything?
No, you haven't.
And when I wake up,
Oh, whatever.
No.
Fuck you.
Don't.
What?
What are you yelling about?
What? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
Wow. First off, when they say that quickly, the Wakanda Forever towards the end of the trailer, that hit me. I was like, oh, that was perfect. It's like a good way to integrate the title of your film. Yeah,
No, it hit me too. It did hit me. It hit me too, but I didn't like freaking fall out and like start crying like I was gonna die or whatever. Like some of these people on YouTube.
You have to be that heartless to not.
No,
cry
well, no,
for-
I'm just not willing to sell out like that for views. I'm not doing it.
What? Anyway.
Hey, not everyone is emotionally at the same level. So not everyone's going to cry at it. Some people are, some people aren't. That's just how it is. That's just how people are. So, I mean, not everyone found it emotional. You know, that's just, certain things. Like, there's certain songs that people will be listening to that hits them and it makes them cry because there's a certain octave that hits in the center in the brain that causes you to cry. Same thing with trailers and movies and so forth. There are certain things that just hit people a certain way. And so, like I said, some people aren't going to find that as emotional as others. And then there are ones that are just big, fat babies that cry at everything. So, that's just how it is.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm saying more in the whole film, not the trailer. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So that was the trailer of Wakanda Forever, as I like to call it, the Predator and Power Rangers Forever film. As me and Jeff have said several times now, because we feel that the Predator and the Power Rangers were in this film, not Ironheart and the Wakandans. But at the same time, still, yeah, I mean, it's an okay trailer. It's definitely better than the teaser trailer. And it definitely, it's still watching it to this day. I'm just kind of like, it looks okay. It's nothing that big. And I mean, when I get to talk about Wakanda Forever, you'll find out, just what I think. But there's so many things that it could have gone differently for this film. And even from this trailer, there's some good points that it shows. And then there's other points that I feel that are very blatantly obvious of what they were trying to express. And there are some great things, I think, that paid great homage to certain people. And then at the same time, I think that they failed on quite a few things. But overall, it's an okay trailer. Anyways, so that brings us to our third ranking in this slate of films. So we're going to be talking about our third film that we found, the third best or third worst or however you want to call it, in our film rankings. And so once again, we're just going to go around the table, talk a little bit about it, give our views and our expressions, stuff like that, just like we have with the previous two. And before we move on, let's throw out this other question there for you guys. So let's just say at the halfway point of the film releases last year. So we'll say that the halfway point was where when Thor: Love and Thunder was going to come out. So we had Multiverse of Madness and then Morbius that came out previous to that film. Up to that point, when we were getting ready for Thor: Love and Thunder to come out, what were you guys' thinking at that point after seeing the other two films? And just kind of where your head was at with Marvel at that point. Were you feeling like, I'm not into this, into these films this year, or was there like, I'm hoping the next one's better or anything like that? What was your thoughts going into when Thor: Love and Thunder was coming out? Starting with you, Andre.
Yeah, my viewing of movies is just, it depends on if I like the previous installment. So in this case, with Love and Thunder, I was just like thinking, oh my god, I love Thor Ragnarok from 2017, the third Thor film. And at that point, I didn't see Morbius, so I just saw the movie that's in our competitors' company that we should not be named. And I fairly enjoyed Doctor Strange too. I thought it was better than the first Doctor Strange film. And coming to Thor: Love and Thunder, I was excited because I liked the trailers. Because you trusted Taika Waititi from the last movie, so I was pumped. The thing that will make me more concerned is the critics, the reviews. When the reviews were hitting, I was like, okay. But I didn't read up too much on the Thor: Love and Thunder reviews, so I saw the film and I was just like, okay. I was kind of mixed. So, but at that point, like, I was very excited to see Love and Thunder because I just love the third Thor film, and just Chris Hemsworth is great as Thor. I mean, I was happy to see a fourth movie because here's the thing, like, I don't need these superhero films to be trilogies. Like, you can make fourth movies. Like, look at John Wick. I'm going to talk about John Wick in my channel, and I'm saying that franchise is just showing you can do 4 films and you could be consistent. And fortunately, Thor: Love and Thunder didn't reach that height, fortunately.
All right. Thank you. Jeff, same question, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The trailers didn't look very good. They really just didn't. And I did not like the fucking Lady Thor thing at all. I never did. Sorry, I didn't like it. I didn't like it from jump. I never wanted it to happen. I was fucking pissed when they did it. I really was. I was fucking saying, like, God, don't do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go in this direction. For a minute there, remember, I thought they were actually going to replace him completely with her. I was like, you fucking kidding me? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously? Like, you're going to take it that far? That pissed me off. I'm serious. I was really upset with that because I was like, how could you fuck Hemsworth like that? After all the time he put into the fucking role and everything and whatnot, right? In the MCU and shit. How is that fair? Honestly, look, Phase 4 was just, going so badly that when we reviewed it, all I can say is that I softballed it. I won't lie. I softballed that shit on purpose. I did. I sold out. I did. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it intentionally, but I couldn't help myself, right? I didn't want to shit on the film. I didn't want to shit on it because I just didn't want to, like, add on to the rest of the fucking people beating up on the MCU and whatnot, and be a part of that. I did not want it. I don't know. I'm not trying to make this shit sound complicated. I'm just saying you guys get the gist. I just didn't want to add to that crap. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And maybe I should have just slammed the fuck out of it. I don't know. That's not my will.
No,
Jeff,
I mean, Jeff, you're right. I was in the same position as you because I made this comment with my friend. We were doing a group hangout, and I mentioned I thought this was better than Doctor Strange 2. But then when I did the podcast for my channel, and I retracted my question, and I say, no, I didn't like this film. I just decided I wanted to see Doctor Strange again because I saw Doctor Strange again in Disney Plus, and I was like, I was just baffled what kind of film Thor: Love and Thunder. And you brought up the Lady Thor thing. I was just surprised they didn't go to that direction. Like Lady Thor was there. She was like a dual protagonist with Thor. Like it was just how they like, especially because they were handling the two biggest comic book runs of Thor in recent memory into this one movie in such a short time in the movie hour. It's like how like they just botched the whole Lenny Thor thing. But Natalie Portman, like she gave the best performance out of her MCU run, so that's saying something.
Excellent, excellent. And to answer that question myself, up to this point, I was very optimistic with Thor. I absolutely love Ragnarok, and that Taika Waititi was back to direct it. I was very hopeful for it, and I know a lot of people disliked it and thought it was the worst, one of the worst Thor films. I still thought it had a lot of fun to it, and I understand that the comedy seemed to overplay everything, and I get that. But at the same time, I still think that it had some good moments, and I definitely had high hopes for it, and I was happy with where we were going. After Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, and so I had high hopes and that they were going to go in a better direction. But as we saw through that slate, it kind of just kept declining, and thinking at that level, I was like, I had high hopes, but then it showed me just exactly what I was in tune for as I saw the film. So I had high hopes. That was my thought process going into that. All right. So, going on with our third film, our third film in our 4 films that we're ranking. Same thing and same great deal. Everything and under the sun you would like to talk about your third pick, and starting with Andreas.
Okay, speaking of Thor: Love and Thunder, if you see in my background, Thor: Love and Thunder, get it? Because there's a child now, Love, and then Thor's Thunder. Huh? See? Okay, anyway. Stupid joke. I don't like the title. Anyway. So, Thor: Love and Thunder is my third. This is where it's hitting, like, mediocre / average film for me. I, like, very conflicted for me, because there's so many good in this movie, and, like, some of the worst things of MCU history. But we're not there yet. So, like, we saw the trailer. Like, I love how comic book looking these last 2 Thor films are. Like, you saw the big giant creature that Thor and Korg is at, the snowy planet where they're gonna meet Lady Sif in the film. Like, that's straight out from the Jason Aaron run of the Thor God Butcher run, and that's so cool. And the Olympus city, like, it reminds me of the unfortunately he's not here with us, the late great George Perez, like his, like, the God's city. Like, it reminds me of how George Perez draw it in the comics in Wonder Woman. Like, it's like that city looks really cool, and something I can see in a Wonder Woman movie, which we're not gonna get that. I mean, this movie, like, Chris Hemsworth is great. He's still great as Thor. I think he's still top notch in his comedy. When he gets to the dark and serious moments, he delivers on that. And I thought, when my favorite thing is when he says that I'm gonna be with my girlfriend or my girl, he drops his hammer, and like, that's such a great moment. I like how he delivered that. And goes to Jane to comfort her for her last moments. The 2 standouts for this film is Natalie Portman and Christian Bale. No matter what you thought about their storylines and how limited their screen time is, in this case, Christian Bale, Gore, those 2 really stand out as my favorite thing about this movie. Like, Natalie Portman came here and she was like there doing her job, because let's face it, Jane is the weakest love interest in the MCU. I think this movie, like, actually redeemed Jane for me a little bit. Not my favorite still, but like she delivered. I think she was really fun here. I think the Lady Thor theme was like actually handled in a way that I wasn't expecting, and it didn't overshadow Thor. Like Thor was still the protagonist, so you got that. So that's good. I and speaking of the chemo, the cancer thing, I think Wati did an okay job. For a person that's actually dealt with this with my dad, I think he did an okay job. I like he one of the criticisms from the last Thor movie, with the ending of the final Thor, where there was a joke because Korg made a joke and then Asgard blows up. That was the biggest criticism. I like that here we actually allow the finale to breathe and let those emotions go. Like I appreciate he fixed that this time around, but I thought Nightmare Part was good, and Christian Bale, like, oh come on, I'm a mid 2000s kid. I grew up watching the Christopher Nolan DC trilogy that everyone loves. I cannot name in this podcast. We're in the MCU, baby. Seeing Christian Bale in a Marvel movie, I was so excited. And the limited screen time he has, like he earns that screen time. He was great as the villain, Gore God Butcher. I like his design. I know it's not comic accurate, but I really like the new design. I think he was creepy and evil, so that was really good. His opening made me excited for Love and Thunder. I was like, oh my god, yes! And then when we got to Thor, I was like, oh no, we're in big shit of trouble. Anyway, so those are my pros I just mentioned. Now get into the cons. Cons is the humor. That's like everyone brought up in their reviews and everything, and their examination / analysis of this movie. The humor was so all over the place. It's like I don't know if they gave Wati too much control, like gave him too many creative control, and I think he just ran out. Like if you heard the 4-hour cut, I'm like, oh my god. And so all the jokes just didn't land. The goats joke was like okay at first, and then it's just really annoying. Or despite I like Natalie Portman's role here, I didn't like the running gag of her saying her catchphrase. Like it didn't land. So I think the humor just distracted too much of the drama that was going on. And especially it also took away the development that we wanted. And this is where I want to bring up my other con. Just like Black Panther Wakanda Forever, this is where Doctor Strange 2 did it better. This movie and Wakanda Forever did the worst thing, underutilizing characters. Like Valkyrie, like the character that we like from the last Thor film, barely has any storyline here. She's just like a third wing, a third fling in this like protagonist role with Thor and Lady Jane. Like because before, in 2019, the Comic-Con, they say they have a storyline of her trying to find her queen, and it's not in this movie. And she's like left out in the finale, and it's like, why? I want her to be there with Jane and Thor. So I was very disappointed that Valkyrie didn't have any character development and just was there for showing. And oh my god, please no more Korg. When they did the fake death, I was like, oh my god, they killed him. And then he's like, oh no, he survived. That was where I hate the movie. I was like, you're fucking stupid. I will fucking destroy your movie now. I don't care. You're the worst movie ever. No offense. Anyway, that drove me nuts. It's like, why you kept Korg? Like, he's useless. And it's just the director showing off his talent and all that, whatever. Yeah, this was just disappointment. Like, it was a disappointment follow-up to the third Thor film, and it made me kind of like less excited to see a fifth film, really. So it's like, I don't know, and the CGI was horrible. Last thing, the cons, CGI, I feel so bad with the VXRs and the special company we had to mention because that article came out after that movie came out. So this was the worst CGI thing I see in the MCU film, and I hope they fix that. Now that Victoria Yonso is left the company recently, I hope we get someone new and try to fix this visual effects thing and get the visual effects back in top notch, like Phase 1. Like the Phase 1 films look so much better than this movie. Come on, like it's ridiculous. So yeah, it's not my third. It's not the worst, but it's like it's mediocre and it's average. So that's my opinion.
All right, thank you. All right, Jeff, your turn, sir.
Number 3?
Number 3, sir.
Batman Forever. That's number 3.
It's not very complicated, really. It is kind of tough. No, it's not. Wakanda Forever. Nope, I did. It's Wakanda Forever because, if I'm going to pick two, if I'm going to pick a winner out of 2 straight up fucking shit house type joints, right? I might as well fucking rock with the one like Cyber said that's got fucking Power Rangers up in it and managed to get the fucking Predator up in that house, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you right now, the minute that you're right, Coogler is a genius. The fact that Coogler fucking got the Predator out of that bit, when Coogler found the planet that the Predator was on, right, and got the Predator over there to shoot those seeds and shit. Hey, how the fuck he managed that? I have no idea. I mean, how do you even negotiate with a Predator? I mean, do they even accept money as like currency? I mean, how does that work? You have to give bones and shit like a skull. I don't know. So I mean, they don't. I can tell you right now, the Predator motherfuckers would probably like the vibranium though. They would. If you think about it, Cyber, the Predator would dig the vibranium, right? Yeah. The Predator would be like, okay, USA. You know what I'm saying? Just like Bloodsport, baby. There you go.
The reason I like it the most because Batman pops up in Wakanda Forever.
Well, whatever. Wakanda Forever sucks. My 12-year-old son, we watched it. I asked him at the end, what do you think of it, Trevor? He was like, it was terrible. So there you go. I'm sorry, but what else do you say? If my 12-year-old son loves the MCU, he loves Marvel. Right? Okay? If he couldn't be fooled by that movie, then I mean, come on, man. How much more of a metric do you need? Seriously. He's 12. And he knew it sucked. So that's all I can say, man. Namor was dope for a minute, right? He seemed they made him look. He had some moments where he came off fucking hard, man. You know what I'm saying? That actor, he came out hard, right? And he looked good too physically. The people who bitched about him being too heavy or too his waist being too wide, or whatever, whatnot. I thought he looked totally fine. I didn't hear nobody complain after the movie came out and everything about how he looked as Namor.
He looked comic accurate.
He looked wait, no, he did not.
I mean, not from the comics, but in terms.
Namor is not that big. He's not that massive. He's not he's not built that way.
No. I meant the costume. I meant more of comic accurate.
Okay.
Look, not physical, all that.
Well, let's be honest. Hey, let's be honest. Namor's costume back in the day with the whole just the fucking green thong deal or whatever and whatnot was exactly the best fucking thing ever anyway. So, I
mean, because I'm surprised they went with that. They couldn't have gone with
whatever.
The modern thing, the black.
Either way, they ruined it. They ruined it anyway. Because fucking they had fucking Shuri Diamond at the end. So I mean, right?
Shuri.
And then the only thing that when I saw the trailer, later on, afterwards, I was thinking to myself, why couldn't Ironheart be in that house that was on fire? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, which house? What? In the flashback?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When the house is on fire and shit and whatnot, why couldn't Ironheart be up in that bitch?
Because that was in the past. That's in the 1800s, buddy. What are you talking about? She's in the like she's in 2020s.
I'm trying to help us all out here and like make sure that there's no Ironheart series, motherfucker. What do you think here? Come on now. I'm trying to be proactive.
I won the Iron. I actually like Willie Williams.
Get out of here. Enough.
Yeah,
whatever. That's all I have to say about Wakanda Forever. And I have even less to say about Love and Thunder. I can tell you now it's going to be very short.
Agreed.
Very short.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And shout out to Tex Not Dead. Welcome to the comments, sir. Can Suri perform the dim mock?
What the fuck is a dim mock?
Yeah, what is this? What is this, Tex?
Tex, what? You come out of nowhere and all of a sudden you're trying to be coming in here all fucking like meta and shit and whatnot and trying to be all smarter than us?
Yeah. I mean that if that's some sort of sexual act there, Tech, then yes, if you want her to do dim mock to you, go for it. That's perfectly fine. And what's up, JB? How we doing, sir? Yeah, Ahsoka trailer was fantastic, sir.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh yeah. Oh, Bloodsport. Yep, dim mock. I know what he's talking about now.
Hey, Jeff B. How about you fucking give me a call, motherfucker, and we squash this fucking stupid beef that never fucking happened or whatever, whatnot, everything, and fucking just chill and shit and whatnot, and like and be like fucking Shuri and fucking Motutu and shit and whatnot, and shake hands if you know whatnot after you down me, right? And we can be buddies. You know what I'm saying? And then you can come on and you can review Ahsoka with us, brother, because we miss you, man. Come on now.
If you guys haven't watched Bloodsport, if you're gonna reference Bloodsport, you should know the dim mock.
Tex. I know the dim mock is, man. I'm just joking, bro. But Bloodsport's one of my favorite movies of all time, man. Come on now.
Is that the Vin Diesel one?
Vin Diesel.
What?
Yeah, there's Bloodsport. I think Bloodspot it's called. I think. Is this the Van Damme movie?
Andres, we don't have time to explain to you the complexities and like the depth of Bloodsport, bro.
All right. Well, I'm old. I was born in the 60s, so yeah.
You were born in the 60s.
Yeah. I mean, I was born in October 1962, so I've been around for a while.
So you're telling me you're 51? I mean 61, sir.
61? Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I need to double check my age.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Andres, did you catch a contact high off my fucking shit or something? What's up, bro?
I think so. People.
Excuse me, I'm very stubborn. I'm just telling you the facts. That I was born in 1962. And I saw President J.F. Kennedy. I was a former MI6 agent.
Oh my God!
In the 70s.
Wait a minute. Are you going to be the first guest to ever come on the Bleeding Edge? Wait.
He goddamn killed JFK or shot JFK when he was 1 year old in 1963 as an infant, and he was an MI6 agent in the 70s. When he was like at 10 years old.
I think
he's lost it officially.
How do you get into the MI6 if you're not even from fucking Britain?
It's like the Black Widow. I was trained in this special program.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And by the way,
what was that special program? The Special Olympics?
Funny, no, it was called the White Room. By the way, so anyway, Cyber, I didn't murder JFK. I'm saying that I met him and I say hi to him. We were actually good friends in the 60s.
Well, I would hope you didn't murder JFK. I mean, honestly,
you would have only been able to meet him in 62 or 63 because he was shot and killed in 63. Yep. So you would have been trying to say hi at a year old younger. So either you were some interesting child that all of a sudden had some miraculous ability to talk and empathy.
Well,
you were a miracle, baby.
Hey, all I know is that I like JFK, and that was a wonderful period of time in history of the U.S. where I can actually like a Democratic president, whatnot, like whatnot. I mean, is that nice? Right? I can like somebody like that. But hey, anyways, why don't we wrap this shit up since we're almost to the 2-hour mark?
Yeah. All right. So my third spot is Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oof.
And Thor: Love and Thunder would have been higher if it had some better qualities, most definitely. I thought, of course, I thought that, Christian Bale, I think he's a great actor. I didn't think his gore was horrible, but at the same time, I didn't think it was the greatest. The thing that nailed it for me that I absolutely love about Thor: Love and Thunder was Zeus. Fucking Russell Crowe as Zeus was the bomb. He was absolutely freaking hilarious in perfection. That little walk that he performs when he comes down to talk to Thor, that was all improvised by Russell Crowe. He actually did it like 12 different times, and that's the one that Taika decided to go with of his takes. And it was absolutely on point. He was beautiful as Zeus. So when he pops back up alive at the end in the post-credit scene and shows Hercules, was amazing too as well. Yeah. I thought it had a lot of great potential. I thought it had some good moments. I thought another reason why I put it down at number 3 too is because I hate the fact that they brought back Natalie Portman just to kill her. I thought that was the most stupidest thing to do with a character. I would have just left her alone. I would have not brought her back and even used her, because that to me was just stupid to bring this character that you didn't use in one of the films just to kill the character off. And I thought that was poor judgment by MCU. And so, I thought the comedy element, I didn't have a problem with the comedy element throughout the film. I loved it. I thought it was super funny, especially that sequence where Thor's fighting all those bird creatures and does the splits and shit like that. Was absolutely hilarious to me. I would have liked to have seen the Guardians a little bit more in the film too. That would have been great. But overall, like, the movie itself wasn't horrible, but at the same time, it could have been so much better. And so those few little tidbits is the reason why I put this at number 3 for me. All right. Okay. What? Jesus Christ.
What comes
enough with JFK there.
What number comes after 3, baby? What number?
Number 4. So our
I bet,
fourth worst film.
I bet Ironheart would know.
So our worst film. So we're hitting our worst film here of the 2022 slate. So it should be no surprise what my number 4 is. But we'll go around briefly. Go ahead and say what your worst film of the 2022 slate is. Your pros, your cons, whatever you like, and we'll move on from that. So
let me start. Let me start, Cyber. Let me start.
Okay, you start.
Thor: Love and Thunder, absolute piece of fucking garbage. That's that. Piece of fucking trash. Yeah, fuck Taika Waititi, you know what I'm saying? And his bullshit. And also, what straight up disrespect to Christian Bale as an actor to treat him like that and whatnot and make him look like a fucking clown. Right, in his role in the film, because of the way they didn't even use him. What a joke! Waste talent like that, man. I'm telling you, Taika Waititi is one selfish motherfucker, bro. He really is. I'm sorry, but he's a selfish motherfucker, bro. He really is.
Yeah.
He put his own personal motivations, everything, whatnot, ahead of everything in the film. He did, and it shows. Right. So there you go, folks. If you think Thor: Love and Thunder is fucking garbage, just imagine what hanging out with Taika would be like.
All right. Okay. All right. So, Andres, stop your typing and tell us your number 4, sir.
Whoa. I have the freedom of speech and typing. So, anyway,
he's on Twitter right now talking shit about me for fucking for like slamming Taika.
Probably.
I don't care about Taika. I mean, who cares? Anyway, number 4, not surprisingly, it's Morbius. I mean, it's not the worst superhero film. Let me address this. Like, it's not the worst superhero film. At least this film is not taking itself seriously. So, funny. I also meant The Watcher recently. He's pretty nice. So I thought that I thought that this movie was like it wasn't as bad as the first Venom movie. I just wish it committed fully as a horror film, you know. So be a radar type, or I'm fine with PG-13. Like we have PG-13 like horror films, so it's not a big deal. But I do agree with Cyber, with the COVID-19 pandemic and the pushbacks and all that. I do feel sorry for them. So at least it is cohesive. At least Matt Smith is having fun. Like at least we have one actor is having fun. Like his scene where he's like dancing and is putting his coat on. The song called "Excess" is so funny. Has become a meme as well. Like the Morphin time. So it's not the worst superhero film. I just don't care. Like if you're trying to build like this shared whatever Sony Spider-Man universe, like try to put your resource and time well and make a good product. I'm not asking for an Oscar film. Just give me a good entertainment film. And Morbius hit it for you too, and that's fine. But for me, it just didn't hit it for me. But it's not as bad. Like it's not as bad as Fantastic Four, the 2015 film. It's not that. It's I put it as a guilty pleasure, and it's not the worst superhero film, but it's the worst for me because it could have been more, and it didn't. And I'm not.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Wow.
Very true.
Yeah, very true. Anyway, can you bring back Leah Herfler next time when you're trying trial so I can hit the sure. I don't know, Jeff. I can ask one of my pals from in Britain to give me.
Actually, Andre, I wanted to ask you. There's a guy that wants to guest on your pod, man. I was wondering if you would be interested in having him on.
Due to inflation, one good girl is now worth 1,132.13 bitches.
Okay, I don't understand the joke. Well, who cares?
He's a new type of economist.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. He's from Wakanda.
Wakanda. Okay, let's leave Wakanda alone.
He's to be this Black Panther right there.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, Wakanda is being left alone already.
Yeah, Wakanda is fine. Leave it alone.
I went to Wakanda and all I came back was with this fucking drum.
I actually went to space like 16 years ago in the 90s. I lived there for 2 years. It was fun. I should go back.
Well, I almost had
You're counting wrong, sir. 16 years ago was still the 2000s, sir.
I had almost gotten close to gaining my Wakandan citizenship there a couple months back and whatnot.
If you said 23 plus years ago, that would have made more sense.
Yes, 20 plus years. I'm sorry. Being a immortal, if you didn't get the sense of that, I'm an immortal agent from a 60s. I lost count, and I cannot count anymore. So
he's really stuck on the 60 thing.
I know, folks. Just to be clear, I want to give you an update out there. I know you're out there. That I had to. I was very close to getting my Wakandan citizenship and my papers and whatnot, and everything. My visa. When I was on my quest to smash my way into Wakanda, right? You know what I'm saying? By just rocking Wakandan queens, but sadly, I did not meet the quota because of my dedication to celibacy, right? So.
Anyway, I have all my censorships for all the countries, including Wakanda. So yeah, Morbius is the worst movie of 2022. I'm not excited for any of the Sony films. Like Kraven the Hunter is like doomed to bomb.
Cyber, we have got to get one of these fucking people that thinks Wakanda is real out of the show, bro.
I'm sure we'll find somebody that does. I'm sure it will happen at some point.
Yeah. So
all right. So my fourth is, of course, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, a.k.a. The Predator and Power Rangers Forever. All right, so coming in at number 4 for me, why this movie's there. Number 1, this went through several rewrites because of Chadwick Boseman's passing. So the original thought would have been so much a better film. If Bosman had not passed away. The first film is superior by far, a great film, amazing. And this one just felt like a giant dumpster fire for me. Namor, aka what the hell they called him in this, because they couldn't use the Namor name because somebody else owns the name.
Watutu.
Yeah, Watutu. Namor.
They called him Namor a couple times in the movie, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah. They have the right. The Marvel doesn't have the film rights. They cannot make a solo film of Namor. That's the situation.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Anyways, they were taught. They called him pretty much, several other names. They mentioned Namor a few times, but it wasn't. They weren't exclusively Namor.
And the Atlantis thing was a fucking joke, though. You know that was a straight joke because they could have called Atlantis, and it was all because of money that they didn't do it.
Well, they called them the Tolkiens. They didn't call them the Atlanteans. They were called Tolkiens because they couldn't use.
I know.
Goddamn, what do you call it?
And I read that literally they only had to pay probably literally $500,000 for the ability to just be able to go ahead and call it Atlantis.
I actually don't mind the change because it helped separate from Aquaman.
Oh, whatever. Whatever. Namor as a character came out 35, 40 fucking years before Aquaman even came out.
No. I think Aquaman came before Namor did. Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
We're not. No. We'll talk about that on another show. I'm telling you now. No. Aquaman came out after Namor.
You want to bet?
Namor was the first mutant ever to come out in Marvel Comics.
So, okay. Aquaman appeared in November of 1941. That's when my parents were born. Anyway.
And who has true knowledge? That's his name.
Namor was the 1930s to 1940s. So he did come out first.
Yes. You're actually correct. He came before, came first before Aquaman came. So good job, Saber.
Yeah.
Good man.
So anyways, back to what I was talking about, people. Jesus Christ. Shut up. Anyways, so back to shitbox Wakanda. So the look of Namor I thought didn't really fit for me. I thought they made him too CGI looking because they did do some CGI messing with his size to make him look a little different versus how Shinnok really looks in real life. So with that, then not being able to call them the Atlanteans, I didn't care too much for. But my biggest pet peeve with this film is they killed off Ramonda. I was so pissed by them killing off Angela Bassett's character. I was so mad. And this is the best character in this film besides Winston Duke as M'Baku. Because M'Baku is freaking amazing. I absolutely love Winston Duke. I think he's a fantastic actor. He's awesome, and I love that character. The carrot scene, like you said, was fantastic. Letitia Wright's okay. Donnie Guerreri and Lupita Nyong'o, they aren't too bad of actresses either. I enjoyed them. I thought they had great chemistry throughout the film. But overall, the fact that they killed off Ramonda, I was really pissed by this. And even Angela Bassett was pissed when she found out she was going to be killed off in the film. And, of course, Ryan Coogler assured her, saying, nobody's really ever dead in the MCU because look at some of the people from Endgame. They have been resurrected. So there is the option of them coming. Yeah, he did. He said that to her.
Wow.
So she could come back. But at the same time, though, that to me is just, why would you do that to an Oscar-winning actress who is amazing? And that just really put a bad taste in my mouth for this movie. Plus the fact that the CGI of this film I thought was the worst actually of this year of 2022. With the look of Ironheart, with the look of the Warriors when they're in their new outfits that Ironheart has created. Yeah. That all looked like the Power Rangers and Predators, which just I know that 20th Century Fox is now owned by Disney, which they own the Predator rights now. But still, that's not a place for freaking the Predator and Power Rangers. And but that fact, and then just how they really dragged out certain parts in the film, and just the overall presence of the film that felt very discombobulated because of the original story that happened to be altered quite a bit. And I mean, the homage they did to Chadwick Boseman was great. I enjoyed that. I thought they did a good job giving him that mural in the film, you know, talking about his character throughout the film. Martin Freeman, I absolutely love his character of Everett Ross, and I was hoping he'd have more of a part of the film. He didn't, which I was really sad by. And then just how they portrayed the Talcum people, having them have to, you know, be these green-looking people, bluish-looking people, and them being so powerful. I just didn't care for that because I felt that they shouldn't have been really a match for I feel Letitia Wright's character or any of the others. I thought they could have kicked their butts really easy because that's how I felt they were in the first film. And I just didn't, you know, think that was like really, and stuff like that. But overall, it was a okay film. Not my favorite. I think that was the worst one of the MCU for 2022. It just could have been so much better than it was. You know, I know that, you know, that they had original plan and Chadwick Boseman was going to return, but unfortunately passed. I just feel they should have took more time to try to reinvent a better storyline and waited another term before they put it out to really have a good cohesive story that could have been so much better. And just visually, it could have been better too, all over the place.
Right.
Yeah. But overall, an okay film. But that's why that one's my last place of 2022. I didn't care too much for it, like I said. And overall, I just thought that it was the least favorite of the ones I watched last year.
Wow. Yeah, I can understand. I wish Ramonda was the Black Panther. Like, I really was hoping that they do that. But when we got the secondary trailer, like the second trailer, I knew that they were gonna do Sherry. I was like, okay. So, yeah, but yeah.
All right, excellent. Okay, so that's our rankings, folks, out there, and I think it's been a great show. So basically, you know, of course, you know. We want to thank everyone that watched, all those great people in the comments. If you had to put a rating on it, Andres, the slate of 2022, overall, what would you give it out of a 1 to 10 for the 4 films that came out last year?
Ooh. I probably have to say a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
I just think overall it was very average. Despite good moments and very fun movies, but I don't think it reached like anything new or excitement for any superhero films that we had previously. You know, except for one movie, but we cannot name that because we're in a MCU film. So.
Plus, it's also not a part of the MCU. So, I mean, okay, let me ask you this question. What was your favorite film of 2022?
In superhero films or just in general?
Superhero films.
Well, I mean, the Batman.
There we go.
Yeah, the Batman was number 1 for me because it delivered. That's the thing. It delivered. It didn't fall fat. Like, it didn't insult you or it was purely a Batman film, and it was like everyone loved Batman, and they made that film because they love Batman. Here, these other movies just felt corporate. You know, like if they pushed Wakanda Forever for next year, like that movie could have been much better, you know? But they didn't because they were rushing, you know, and that's the issue with the Phase 4. So that's why I give it a 6 out of 10. Because I don't think it delivered, you know, at all.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, all right. So, on the Pop Culture Guy podcast, that's where you can find my good friend Andre here. Yeah. What do we have coming up, sir? Do you have anything planned or lined up in the near future here, sir, on your channel?
Yeah. So next week, me and my host Chris are going to do a podcast on John Wick Chapter 4. It's going to be a spoiler cast. If you haven't seen the film, check it out. I seen the film twice, and it's the second best John Wick film after my favorite, the third chapter. Yeah, and then I'm planning to do like a top 10 ranking of villains of the John Wick franchise, and then go from there, and then do other things that are risky and creative. So that's what we're playing right now. So, but that's
Awesome. Yeah. Great film. If you have not seen it, folks, John Wick Chapter 4, great film. Go check it out in theaters now. Really fun. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for the Pop Culture Guy on YouTube.
Yep.
To see that stuff coming up soon. And of course, as always, my lovely co-host, Mr. Jeff, should be back Sunday discussing something Marvel related, of course. So keep your eyes out for that. He's usually live around 7:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific, or 4:30, I should say. And of course, if you like me here on the MCU's Bleeding Edge, Mr. Cyberneticshark, as a host or just a guest panel, you can check out my solo stuff under Cyberneticshark, under YouTube, pretty much anywhere else, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Rizzle, Instagram, all that kind of good stuff. I'm on pretty much all the platforms putting stuff up. I just recently put up a trailer reaction for the upcoming DreamWorks film called Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, that's coming out this summer. So check that out. I just went and saw the Super Mario Brothers movie today. I put up a mini review of that on my channel, so definitely check that out. Have a full review for that up soon. I will have my Dungeons and Dragons review up soon, along with John Wick Chapter 4. Keep an eye out for that, guys. March was a huge busy month for films. I mean, I saw a new movie, even 2 in 1 week last month. Every single week I was there watching a movie. So a lot of reviews, people. April is kind of a little bit slower, thankfully. I'll be having a Renfield review up after that comes out next week.
Yeah.
And of course, I want to thank all my new subscribers, everyone that keeps subscribing. You guys rock. I am up to 606. So I want to thank you guys for getting me over that 600 mark. Slowly just build it up. I've picked up another 5 subscribers since the last time I was on. So I want to thank all those that are doing that. And we have Jeff back here. What do you have planned for Sunday, sir?
Well, we're going to go ahead and start the Phase 4, the whole Phase 4 rankings. It might take 3 or 4 shows to do it. We're going to do the whole Phase 4, and I'm not going to separate any of it. I'm going to do it all in one big cluster. All of it. We're just going to rank all of it.
Awesome.
Right? And besides that, I don't have time to plug anything because what a surprise. Even though some douchebag was in the comment section talking about asking me if I was buying feet pics or something like that or whatever and whatnot for some reason the other night. I've actually got, what a surprise, a chick coming over right now to hang out with me in my celibacy. We're gonna share our celibacy together, right? You know what I'm saying? So I need to meet her outside because she's pulling up right now. All
right, guys. So that is it for this show. We want to thank you all.
She drove me all the way here just to give me the feet pics.
Gotcha. So that was this episode of the MC Bleeding Edge, guys. You guys rock, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
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 Hey. I said, excuse me, but you don't understand where I'm at. I was all around the world, on span, across the map. I've been laying low and now it's time to pop up, bitch, I'm back. Now I'm around.